70 days to CAT. We're about 70 days away from CAT. And obviously you must be wondering what strategy to implement in the next 70 days. Now I'm going to divide this video into two parts. First, I'm going to talk about people who are just starting now and are wondering whether they can crack CAT in 70 days. And the second part of the video is going to be people who've been preparing for some time. Now that can be 1 month, 2 months, 6 months or 1 year. And then what should you be doing in the last leg, in the last 70 days of your preparation. So first, let's talk about people who haven't started your prep and are wondering whether they can crack CAT in the next 70 days. Now, see here, this is where I can give you some false hope. In Hindi, we say jhuti tasalli, right? But yahan pe, like, I don't want to give you jhuti tasalli, right? I don't want to give you false hope. Is it possible to crack CAT in 70 days if you haven't started preparation? It's going to be very difficult, okay? It's not an outright no, and I'll tell you why. But it is possible, but it's going to be very difficult, and that also comes with a huge caveat, okay? So net, it's very difficult to crack CAT, to do justice to CAT in 70 days. Now, who are the people who can potentially attempt to do this? Let's say if you're someone who's attempted a competitive exam in the past, right? You've potentially attempted GMAT or GRE, or you're potentially somebody who's repeating CAT, okay? In that situation, you can think about it. And on top of it, you should be someone who has a reasonable, comfortable base in the 3 sections. Now, what does that mean? You're somebody who is naturally comfortable with math or who has a good foundation in math. You're somebody who has already reasonably good or good reading skills. You're somebody with reasonably good analytical skills. Now, both these criteria are met. You've given a competitive exam in the past, plus you have a base in all these 3 sections, then you can potentially think about cracking CAT in the 70 days. It can be possible, but still it will require a lot of effort from your side, okay? But it's possible. Now, if you're someone without any base and you haven't attempted any competitive exam or any of the similar competitive exams in the past, then it's next to impossible to crack CAT in the 70 days, right? And in that case, I would strongly recommend that you look at CAT 25 and sort of work hard towards it. In that situation, you should definitely still attempt 24. Remember, many students shine in their second attempt, okay? So even if you're looking at 25, you can give 24, test the waters, you'll understand the format, and then really go all out and prepare for CAT 25. That's the truth here, okay? Now, if you belong to the first category and you have a chance of cracking CAT in the next 70 days, what should we do? We'll talk about it later, okay? Let's come down to the second part, which is if you've been preparing for some time, what should you be doing in the last 70 days? See, the first thing is you should be focusing on mocks. Mocks are the most important now in the last 70 days. Mocks are always important. I mean, we've been saying this since the month of June, May, June, July, right? Mocks now become supreme as far as your CAT preparation is concerned. That's the most important thing in your preparation. So now first let's talk about how many mocks should you be giving from this point on. In September, in the remaining 3 weeks, you should be giving at least 1 mock per week. In October, you should amp it up to 2 mocks per week. And in November, you should continue 2 mocks till about 15th of November. We don't recommend doing a mock in the last week. You should do lightweight prep. We'll talk about that in another video as we get closer to the exam. But after 15th, 16th, you should stop giving mocks. If you follow the schedule, you'll give 3 mocks in September, 8 mocks in October, that's 11, and potentially 3 to 4 mocks in November, that comes to 14 to 15. That's a good number of mocks, and of course these are for students who've been preparing for some time. So I'm guessing you've already given some mocks. Even if you're somebody who's starting now, 15 mocks is a fairly good number. Try to take that number to 20 if possible. Okay, so definitely focus on mocks, they're very important. Now, why are mocks important? If you've been preparing for some time, you already know that. CAT is a very unique exam. It's a 2-hour format with 3 sections, 40 minutes back to back. Number one, you need that stamina to be at your best in those 2 hours. And that stamina is not just magically going to appear if you just give the exam directly. That stamina is slowly built in mocks. So that's why mocks are very important. Question selection is paramount. You need to figure out how to select the manageable questions. You need to know how to leave the difficult questions. You should be able to spot a difficult question as soon as possible and leave it. and attack a manageable question and make sure a manageable question is not left on the table. These are basics of question selection. Nobody can teach you that. That will only come with mocks. As you practice mocks, then you'll understand question selection and you'll sharpen your question selection strategy. You need to figure out the strategies to attempt this exam. Apart from question selection, there are a number of strategies that you use to attack the questions in the exam. All those strategies are sharpened in mocks. So mocks are extremely important. And you will take about 5 to 6 mocks just to get used to the structure. Now, if you've been preparing for some time and you've already given some mocks, I'm guessing you're already at that stage. So keep sharpening it, keep building that momentum, keep giving mocks very seriously, and that will truly help you on the D-Day. Okay, now of course mocks should be paired with analysis. Giving a mock without analysis is useless. Nothing will come out of it, right? So every mock that you give has to be supported with analysis, and that's where you learn, that's where you fill gaps. So I always say that analysis should typically take double the amount of time of the mock if you do it really seriously. So a 2-hour mock should potentially take 4 hours, right? If you do the analysis really seriously, maintain an error log and do it in a structured way. So mocks are extremely important. Don't neglect them. About mocks, we always say that you should at least go with 2 providers in the market so that you are used to different question setter styles. Okay, so choose any 2 providers, any trusted providers. Of course, 2IIM also provides mocks. You can check it out. Choose 2 providers, go for it, and then also focus on past year papers. So give 23, 22, and 21 as full-fledged mocks. Those are the best mocks that you will give. Nothing can come close to that, not even 2IIM, right? So there are 9 papers that you can give as mocks, and potentially 2020 can also be given as a mock, or if you want to practice them individually, but 21, 22, 23, you should definitely give them as mocks. So number 1 is mocks, very, very important. The second part of your strategy is all about building strengths and consolidating strengths. So this is the time to really go all out. You know your strengths already. If you've been preparing for some time, build on them, consolidate them, right? Whatever your strengths are, whether your strengths are arithmetic and algebra or arithmetic and geometry or a certain sort of type of sets in DLR or in VRC, whatever your strengths are, consolidate them, build on them, right? Should you attack a new topic right now? Potentially, yes, you can potentially do that in September, but I wouldn't advise doing that in October. October should be all about revision, right? And consolidating the strengths. If you want to fill gaps, if you want to take a new topic, take it right now and finish it in September so that you can have your October and November and first half of November completely for revision. Now let's talk about the 3 sections, right? How do you attack these 3 sections individually? I'll talk about my section, which is VRC. I teach VRC at 2IIM. In VRC, what you should be doing in the last 70 days, and this applies to both new people who are preparing from now or the existing folks. Number 1 is practice. Okay, of course you have your mocks. So on the days you're not giving mocks, you should be practicing. Now how much should you be practicing? You should be practicing 3 to 4 RCs a day or 7 to 8 verbal ability questions per day. Okay, so choose. You want to do 3 to 4 RCs, do that, or do 7 to 8 or mix and match. So on the days you don't give mocks, do this. Continue your practice. You want to take a day off, that's fine. On the remaining days, do that. 3 to 4 RCs a day or 7 to 8 verbal ability questions a day. VRC has a limited curriculum in terms of topics. You can cover all of them. Verbal ability has typically 3 to 4 question types, and of course RC is there, you have to cover that. So keep doing this practice, that will really help you. At this point in time, also think about doing practice with a timer. Okay, so set a timer for 10 minutes or 15 minutes, whatever that time is for you in the RC, and solve it. Solve VA questions also with a timer. That will really help you. Of course, make sure to analyze each and every question. In VRC, practice is important. Leisure reading is also very important. Don't neglect it. A lot of students make this mistake. Continue your leisure reading. Now is the time to read longer articles. Now is the time to read complex articles, right? Read. Now, again, now is the time to really push yourself out of the comfort zone. So this is the time to potentially open up Aeon and start reading those essays, depending on your comfort level. If you're not comfortable, wait some time, but by the time you reach the exam, right, and you want to get a 95 plus percentile in VRC, you should be reasonably comfortable with reading Aeon. Everybody doesn't have to read Aeon, but if your goal is 95 plus, you should be reasonably comfortable reading complexity like Aeon. So definitely read longer articles. By longer articles, I mean 1500, 2000, 2000 plus, 3000 word long articles, and complex articles. They will really build stamina. Okay, I often get this question. We have Bharat's reading list. So like, why are Bharat's reading list articles so long? A CAT passage is 500 to 550. Why are you giving me a 2500 word article to read? It's a waste of time. Now, what you don't understand is, I mean, I'm not saying you, but people who say that one passage is 500 to 550. There are 4 passages and 8 verbal ability questions. So you're looking at 2500 to 3000 words in the exam in 40 minutes. And also when you read longer articles, that really builds that stamina and momentum that will help you succeed in VRC. So if you're looking at 95 plus, 98, 99 or even 100, longer articles and more complex articles paired with practice. Right, so that's on VRC. In quant, I'm not a quant expert, but of course this advice comes directly from your quant experts. I spoke to Rajesh before this video. As far as quant is concerned, arithmetic is the most important thing. If you're starting now, focus on arithmetic. Make sure you do arithmetic very well. Arithmetic is very, very important, the most important topic in quant. So arithmetic is one. If you're somebody who's been preparing for a while, or even if you're new, after finishing arithmetic, you can choose one of the topics. You can either go with the arithmetic plus algebra combination, or you can go with the arithmetic plus geometry combination. This will help you to score a high percentile in quant, one of these combinations. Of course, if you can do all 3 plus the other modern math and other things, great. But one of these combinations can get you to a high percentile if you do it really well, but definitely make sure you finish arithmetic first, keep revising arithmetic, and then attack one of these things, and plus other things if you can do, other topics, that's also great. So that's on quant. DLR is all about practice, practicing different sets. So as I said, you should be practicing 3 to 4 RCs per day. In DLR, practice 2 to 3 sets per day. Practice different sets, don't give up. Really attack them, build your skills, look at past papers. Past papers have beautiful sets, right? We often get this question, like at this point in time, what should I be doing? Focus on the past paper questions, right? So as I said, 23, 22 and 21 should be given as full-fledged mocks, because that will also give you an idea of your true performance, right? What stage are you at? Because these are past CAT papers. So use them for that, give them as full-fledged mocks. The remaining ones, you can use them as practice. Of course, from 2017 onwards, you'll get them on our website. 2009, so 1990 to 2009, you can get them on the internet. So definitely focus on past papers. All right, so that's your strategy for the last 70 days, the last leg of CAT. I know this can be a very anxious time, and you know that anxiety and nervousness will keep building till the exam. It's very normal. Every student is going to be in that boat. And a little bit of nervous and controlled anxiety and nervousness is good, because that'll push you to put in efforts and prepare. But of course, this is going to be a taxing time for you till the exam. And of course, after the exam also you have other exams. So it's quite an important phase of your life, right? Of your CAT prep. So definitely take care of your physical and mental health. That's very important, right? Don't do the prep at the cost of your physical or mental health, because that will have a severe impact on your prep as well. So make sure you're on top shape, physical shape, whether you want to exercise. I'm not the person who should be talking about working out or exercise, but whatever it is, take care of your physical exercise, take care of your mental health. And because if you're really sort of taking care of that, that will have a very positive impact on your scores, on your result. So whether it's meditation, whether it's yoga, whatever works for you. Different things work for different people, but definitely do that. Of course, go for the healthy things that work for you, right? So take care of that. It's a very important exam, right? Nobody is denying that. You should put in efforts. Definitely respect the exam, right? It's a fantastic exam and it's a very important exam. We know that. Why? I don't need to spell it out. So definitely respect it by putting in efforts, but don't become obsessive about CAT, right? Don't put CAT on a pedestal and start worshipping it. It doesn't deserve that. No exam in the world deserves that, right? Exams should not be put on pedestal. God should be put on pedestal if you're religious, right? But don't do that. Don't obsess over it, okay? It is definitely a very important exam, but it's not the end of the world. Don't feed yourself this, that, oh my God, this is my last attempt, this is do or die, this is make or break, because it's not true. Even if this is your third attempt, you can still give a fourth attempt if you want. If you want to drop CAT, there are other ways to build a successful career. There are other exams. So don't feed that thing in your head. Don't make this like a big mountain. It's a very important exam. Respect it, but don't worship it. It doesn't deserve it. All right? All the best.